Prince Harry is staring down the fight of his life. And this time it's not palace gossip or tabloid rumors. Britain's politicians have officially moved to strip him of the very title that fuels his Hollywood career. While the UK taxman demands a jaw-dropping bill he has just days to pay, no royal shield, no safety net, just Harry cornered. Is this the moment everything finally comes crashing down for the so-called Duke of Sussex? The whispers are over. This isn't a tabloid headline or a royal watcher's fantasy. The UK Parliament has put forward a real bill, one with Harry's name spelled out in black and white, aimed at stripping him of the Duke of Sussex title. Think about that. The very crown jewel of his Hollywood resume, the thing that opens doors in Beverly Hills boardrooms, and convinces publishers to cut those seven-figure checks, now hanging by a thread in Westminster. One MP didn't even bother with polite wording. They stood up and said, if you walk away from duty, insult the monarchy, and then wave your title around Los Angeles like it's a backstage pass, you should face the consequences. Brutal, right? And honestly, they're not wrong. You can't ghost your family, cash in on the name and still expect the perks. Even Meghan might have to admit that her husband's main selling point wasn't his Netflix ideas. It was that shiny royal label. Without it, he's just Harry from California. Not exactly the pitch that gets you into the room with Spielberg. But if you think losing the title is the worst of it, wait until you hear what the taxman just dropped on his desk. As Parliament circles his title, another blow lands, and this one hits where it hurts most. The wallet. Revenue and Customs, the UK tax authority, has reportedly sent Harry an overdue bill for nearly $800,000. And here's the kicker. He's been given just 3 days to pay up. 3 days. Not 3 months. Not by the end of the fiscal year. 3 days. That's not a polite reminder letter. That's basically a financial guillotine hanging over his head. Miss that deadline and the UK has every right to seize assets, drag him into court, and embarrass him even further. Imagine being born into palaces, saluting crowds in full military uniform, only to now be sweating over a tax bill like the rest of us. The irony writes itself. And let's be honest, Harry's California lifestyle isn't exactly cheap. That Montecito mansion doesn't pay for itself, and neither do private security teams, staff, and endless avocado toast breakfasts. If the palace thought he was reckless with duty, wait until they see his bank account. Some reports even question whether he has the liquidity to cover this bill at all. Netflix deals, on hold. Spotify, gone. Book sales, drying up faster than Meghan's Instagram engagement. And speaking of Meghan, people are asking the obvious. If Harry can't pay up, will she step in? Or will she quietly remind him that she never claimed to be a tax advisor? Knowing Meghan, she's probably already working on a how to manifest millions blog post instead. But the bigger story isn't just the number on that bill. It's what it represents. This isn't just about money. It's about accountability. For years, Harry's been shielded by titles, by palace lawyers, by a PR machine that could spin scandal into sympathy. Now, none of that matters. The British taxman doesn't care about sob stories, Oprah interviews, or glossy Netflix documentaries. They care about numbers. And if those numbers don't add up, the $800,000 could balloon into something much uglier. And just when Harry thought it couldn't get any worse, the public decided to pile on. If Harry thought the UK tax office was harsh, he clearly hasn't scrolled through social media lately, because while Parliament debates laws, the online crowd has already handed down their verdict. And it's merciless. Hashtags like "Done, not a Duke," "Pay your taxes," and even "Sussex scam" are flooding timelines. Memes of Buckingham Palace with eviction signs slapped on the gates. Fake donation jars on TikTok labeled "Help Harry pay his bills." It's savage comedy, and yet it stings, because it shows exactly how far public opinion has flipped. Remember when Harry and Meghan were the rebellious couple, breaking free from the dusty old palace? They were celebrated as the modern royals, finally daring to live their truth. Now, the same audience that once cheered them on is mocking them like characters in a reality TV show. People don't see Harry as brave anymore. They see him as a guy who ran away, cashed in, and then forgot the taxman doesn't do royal exemptions. One comment even joked, "Harry went from prince to GoFundMe influencer in record time." Ouch. But it's not just random trolls piling on. Polls show over 70% of the British public supports stripping his title. That's not just dislike, that's majority consensus. The people he claims to still love and miss are basically saying, "You wanted independence. Pay for it." And while the internet laughs, Hollywood executives are quietly watching. For them, this kind of PR firestorm isn't funny, it's toxic. And even more shocking, through all of this, Meghan Markle has chosen a strategy that nobody saw coming. Here's the part that really has people talking. Meghan Markle, the queen of curated soundbites and Instagram-worthy statements, has gone completely silent. No heartfelt post, no cryptic quote about resilience, not even a staged photo op with the kids to pull focus away. Nothing. And according to insiders, this isn't some oversight, it's calculated. Meghan knows the optics. In Hollywood, you don't attach your brand to a sinking ship, not when your own empire is already under pressure. Let's not forget, her podcast deal with Spotify is gone. Her Netflix projects? Hanging by a thread. Her new lifestyle brand, With Love. Meghan is still struggling to find footing. If she suddenly leaps to Harry's defense, she risks dragging her own brand into the mud alongside his financial chaos. So what does she do? She sits back, lips sealed, letting her husband twist in the wind. For someone who built her reputation on authenticity and oversharing every detail of her personal life, this sudden silence feels louder than any speech she's ever given. And the public has noticed. Comments are pouring in like, "Where's Meghan now? Isn't she supposed to be the supportive wife?" Another joked, "She's probably too busy designing her next overpriced jam jar to notice Harry's about to be evicted." Harsh, yes, but that's the internet. And in a world where perception is everything, Meghan's absence is painting its own picture. One of a woman quietly stepping back, maybe even protecting herself more than her husband. It's a shocking shift, and it leaves Harry looking lonelier than ever. Because if Meghan, the woman who stood by him through Megx, isn't standing with him now, who will? And that's the question echoing louder by the day, especially as the palace itself begins to show its hand. As if things weren't bad enough, the one group Harry once thought would never abandon him has officially stepped back, Buckingham Palace. Insiders say King Charles has no intention of intervening. No late-night calls, no quiet bailouts. Even Prince William, his own brother, is reportedly refusing to take Harry's calls. And the palace lawyers, they've been told to keep their hands clean. That's huge. For decades, the royal machine quietly swept scandals under the rug, shielding family members from the fallout. But not this time. This time, Harry is on his own. One aide was even quoted saying, "He wanted freedom. Well, now he has it." Brutal, but it sums it up perfectly. For a man who thought walking away meant cutting ties only when it suited him, the message from the palace is clear. No title, no protection, no special treatment. And while the monarchy's silence is deafening, another group is doing the exact opposite. They're digging deeper into every corner of Harry's financial empire. HMRC's $800,000 tax bomb might just be the beginning. Reports suggest investigators aren't stopping there. They're combing through every UK-linked earning Harry's made since leaving. Every speech, every appearance, even donations tied to the Archewell Foundation are now under the magnifying glass. And here's where it gets dangerous. Insiders whisper about irregular expenses and vague categories like travel, security, and outreach that don't add up. If the numbers don't balance, that initial bill could balloon into millions. Hollywood execs are watching nervously too. The entertainment industry runs on stability, not chaos. No studio wants their star dragged through a tax scandal while headlines scream about missing money. One dealmaker allegedly said, "We don't invest in drama, we sell it." That's code for Harry and Meghan's brand might already be too toxic. And if Archewell becomes the target of formal scrutiny, it's not just Harry's wallet on the line, it's their entire post-royal empire. Which raises the question, if even their big money projects start pulling out, what's left to hold the Sussex world together? In Hollywood, reputation is currency, and right now, Harry's stock is crashing. Netflix executives are suddenly re-evaluating future projects. Publishers who once threw millions at his memoirs are quietly stepping back. Donors who used to see the Sussexes as noble disruptors now see nothing but baggage. One insider even called the brand radioactive, and that word is deadly in the entertainment business. Remember, studios don't like messy headlines. They sell fairy tales, not financial nightmares. Even friends who once praised Harry's courage are falling silent, like they don't want their names tied to him anymore. It's the kind of social frostbite you can't fix with PR spin or a staged paparazzi walk. And the worst part, the one person everyone expects to step in and change the narrative isn't rushing to do it. Meghan's silence continues to grow louder, and with the palace already gone cold, Harry's isolation is starting to look permanent. But there's still one final twist in this saga, the cruel irony at the heart of his downfall. Harry once said he didn't want to be the spare, chained to a system he didn't believe in. He wanted freedom, independence, a new life in California. And yet, even after walking away, he never truly let go of the one thing that made him relevant: the title. He used Duke of Sussex like a VIP pass, turning royal prestige into Hollywood contracts, book deals, and brand clout. Now that very title is the first thing on the chopping block. The double life, rejecting the monarchy but profiting off it, is collapsing under its own weight. And the internet is treating it like a sport. Memes of Buckingham Palace, past due bills, edits of Harry holding a giant IOU sign, even jokes about Meghan setting up a tax relief candle in her new lifestyle brand. It's not just a scandal anymore. It's performance art, slow-motion implosion that millions are tuning in to watch. And as the pressure builds, one question lingers: did Harry trade royalty for freedom? Or did he accidentally give up both? And that's where we stand. Prince Harry, once the golden boy of the monarchy, now cornered by politicians, the tax office, and the court of public opinion. The title that gave him influence is under threat. His bank account is under siege, and his allies are melting away. Meghan is silent, the palace is firm, Hollywood is backing off. For the first time, Harry faces something he's never had to deal with before: real accountability, with no velvet curtain to hide behind. But here's the twist: this might just be the beginning. If Parliament succeeds in stripping his title, what's left for Harry in California? Will Meghan cut her losses and pivot fully to her own brand? Or could this pressure push him to make one last desperate move, maybe even crawling back to the very monarchy he swore he didn't need? What do you think? Should Parliament go all the way and take his title for good? Or is Harry being unfairly punished for simply wanting out? Drop your thoughts below. I'll be diving into your best takes in an upcoming video, and trust me, you'll want to hear how divided people are on this.